Welcome, everybody, to the Cali Weigh In podcast. He's Chris. I'm Juan. We had our very first launch last week, right?
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Had
great.
Jacob Wright. What do you think?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
All right.
It was,
Yeah,
it
it
was,
was
I think
good,
it was a
right?
good podcast. A lot of positive feedback.
Please click that button below that says like and subscribe. We'll continue to work to get you guys great commentary on all things wrestling in California. This week, we have a special guest, Coach Gabe Flores.
Show the guns, Gabe. Show the guns, dude.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. Really
Yep.
do.
Thank you guys for having me.
For people who don't know who you are, can you give us a little intro, talk a little bit about yourself, a little bio?
I coached at Buchanan for, I think 8 or 9 years, almost 10, I think.
Yeah.
Coached both your kids. Currently at Clovis North High School now, coaching there. I wrestled at Illinois with Coach Terrapelli, Adam, Troy, Alex, and all them. Wrestled at Clovis High as well for Coach Terrapelli. Won the state my junior year, took second senior year, and continued my wrestling career at Illinois. Now back home, giving back to the kids.
Wrestling is in your DNA.
It is. Me and my father were the first son state champions in California history. So that
Oh,
was
wow.
cool.
No way. I didn't
I didn't know that.
dude.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
And I was looking your
That's
stuff
awesome.
up. I didn't
That's
see that.
awesome.
That's
I didn't
pretty
know
impressive.
that either. That's cool.
My dad won it in 73 the first year they had it.
Really?
And then, so now I'm hoping
For
my
Jet.
son Jet, if he doesn't
That'd
win
be
it,
cool.
dude,
No, that would be cool.
boom, kick
Now-
him out.
How close were you and your dad weight-wise for that, too?
His senior year, he wrestled 112. So
Oh, okay.
he almost died his junior year. Like he was on his deathbed, everything. Like
Oh, man.
the
Because
priest gave him his, what is that? Last
Like his last rides.
rites,
and all that kind of
everything. And the next day he just woke up like
stuff. Wow.
they were going to give him a blood transfusion and he didn't need it. He just woke up like, hey,
Oh, wow.
how's it
That's
going? I'm
scary.
here. Yeah. So next year they had the first state championship and he won it.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Now, when
112.
you said you won it your junior year, what did you wrestle?
I wrestled 119.
Okay, so these are like
So-
old school weights.
Yeah,
That's
we're
when it
going
was
to
like
get into
103,
some conversations with you. You know,
105.
obviously you made a big move.
All
right. This is going to be the first year we don't see you in a Buchanan, shirt and representing and coaching in that corner. But can you talk to us a little bit about that move and how that's going for you?
Yeah. It was hard, man. Right after the state tournament, Dr. Shapiro from Clovis North, he knows my fiance really well. They worked together at Clovis East, and he'd been telling her for months that he wanted to approach me, and I just kept telling him no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested. And then once the state tournament came, he called or he texted her, told her, hey, I'm going to be proceeding to talk to Gabe. He called Mr. Gambrell, and he let Troy know. He let Mr. Hamida know, and I didn't know Josh too. I met him a couple times. When I met him, he talked to me. He really, really, he just motivated me, man. He brought out something that I think I needed to hear for a long time. And he just told me he wanted me to come over and help out with this program. And so made the move. It was extremely hard. Emotionally, like I said, I love your kids. That's like home for me and my son. God, when I told him we were leaving, he was like distraught, like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
geez, so he was crying. Took him a couple weeks, and but it's been great. The kids, the parents, staff, everyone, they've been with welcome arms, and I love it. It's hard. Like, change is always really, really hard, and especially for me, like, it's still taking some used to, getting used to it. But, I appreciate everything Dr. Shapiro's done for me, and it's been fun.
It's been a positive
Yep,
experience.
it's been very, very positive.
Something like that presents itself, and then you say, hey, can I go do something else? What do I want to go do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the legacy you left at Buchanan is without question. You've helped that team and then some. I know our kids enjoyed having you in their corner. Obviously, all of us, I think, have nothing but support. It's something that if you want to do that, right, and it's the right timing for you, then
Yeah.
I think people should be nothing more than supportive of the decisions that you make. And so while it's a great loss for us, I would say, arguably it's going to be very difficult to fill those shoes. You've been there for a very long time, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
But Clovis North is getting a great deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think you're only going to help that program.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, Gabe, now, you were with Troy even from Central. So how many years were you with Troy total?
Well, what am I?
Yeah.
38 now. So, God, 14, 15 years.
Yeah, because
it's
that's what I'm
been a
saying. That's going to be a
long
big change then.
Yeah.
So now you're on the coaching staff. So do you eventually want to take a lead role eventually, or are you just kind of good with kind of just helping out, kind of like the role you filled at Buchanan?
We'll see where it goes. Right now, I'm just helping out. Right now, I'm just trying to get the kids to buy in, and so Coach Riley's doing a good job of having me in there. And over time, we'll see.
Who do you take influence from? Like, what to you to help you with your technique, stay relevant, look at the new things that's happening? Where do you pull from? What, like, legacy wise? Where did you grow up? Who did you get coached under? And then when you went forward as you've evolved, what are you growing from now to continue to be relevant with that?
To be honest with you, people always ask me that. Wrestling just kind of always came natural to me. Like I said, my dad, he was super slick. He was like one of those guys that you watch wrestle super fast, super quick. He taught the very, very first move he ever taught me was a duck under.
Nice.
And nice. I didn't learn how to figure out a single leg till I was like a junior or senior in high school. I was
nice.
I just knew a high C,
high
C and duck under. I was like, okay, why did you never teach me a single leg, a double leg, short offense, anything? And so I kind of figured things out, not on my own, just wrestling. He would take me to Fresno City. He would take me to all the camps, and I would wrestle with coaches, wrestle with older kids, and wrestling just came natural to me. If you ask me a math problem, I can't help you, but wrestling just kind of came natural. So I've always naturally picked it up. If you're going to ask me who some of my favorite wrestlers were, who I kind of watched and kind of grew up, growing up, honest to God, when I would watch wrestling, Eric Guerrero was one that I always watched. And that high C used to hit was like, damn, this guy can hit that high C from anywhere. But as far as back as I can remember, my dad was taking me to the state tournament from when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. So we would go every single year. And I remember, I hope he'll watch this, but I get a hold of the guy sometimes. Justin Flores. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Oh, yeah, Justin.
That was by far my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Justin Flores from Temecula Valley. So I liked him. So yeah, just watching guys wrestle in California was always my favorite.
Kind of just evolved that, and then it's a feel thing, like people say, right? Wrestling's a feel thing, and whatever felt right. But I've watched you coach, and I love watching just because the technical work that you put in when you see something. You can identify something pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're not doing that right. Here's what you should do. Where do you draw from that influence in that? Do you watch videos? Do you break down film? Do you watch other people?
Dude, to be honest with you, Carl Perry and Jeremy Hunter were our two coaches at Illinois. Carl Perry was probably the best, like one of the best technicians you could ever meet on your feet. Jeremy Hunter on the mat was just so like, he stayed in great position. I had great coaches, and then Jim Heffernan, who was our assistant at the time, who ended up becoming the head coach. If you ask that guy something in any position, he can teach you like 20 or 30 things. And so I was just kind of that guy that was always picking their mind. And then I think what really helped me is when I got out of college, I was still in pretty good shape. I was just beating the crap out of kids in high school. Right. So you start messing around and you start doing things that you couldn't do. And then I was just like, hey, that works. That does that. And so I kind of picked it up as I went, but flow wrestling is really like taken off. Like, kids, we didn't have that growing up. So I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I do watch flow wrestling and I watch guys do stuff, and I'll watch, I like watching the Russian Sativ and all those guys. Cool. And I'll try it. And I'm like, hey, that feels good. And so I watch stuff all the time, and I can just pick it up really fast. But like I said, math problem, you ask me to do anything else, I can't do it. Can't do anything around the house. My fiance does that. So yeah, can't do much.
Yeah.
Just wrestling.
Now your track record in the corner winning controversial calls is really good. Like you have a really high percentage of winning too.
Yes.
Well, what do you think that comes down to? Yeah, what do you think that comes down to?
I don't know. I think reading the rule book and just understanding stuff, and then to be honest with you, talking to Rick McKinney, like
Right,
really
right.
respectful ref.
Like,
around the
don't tell
state.
Anthony.
I know, yeah.
Tell-
Talk to the refs,
Yeah.
and I have a good relationship with them, so I go and try to talk to them respectfully afterward.
Right.
After it's done, when I'm pissed off and I'm done yelling at them, and I'm never disrespectful, but I go up to them after the tournament and say, "Hey, why did you call this or why did you call that?" And sometimes they tell me, "Hey, dude, you were right. I messed up." And
Right.
so you talk to them and get their perspective and just say, "Okay, next time I got to look out for this. You got to look out for that." And so,
Yeah,
But I mean, your record is unbelievable.
yeah, we always
right?
said
What
it's
would
like,
you
man,
guys say?
if
What?
something's close, we
Yeah,
like
can
that.
get-
We want Gabe in the corner because he's gonna question.
Well-
like Troy's great, but like
Right.
he's old school, right? So Troy's like, no, man, I'm not gonna help you, bro. You need to
Well,
figure it
no,
out
my
yourself.
you know, if I think our kid got screwed or I don't think it's right, I'll go challenge it.
Right.
But kind of the same thing as Troy. I mean, one, and I'm not picking on him, but Jack Jaffrey, his sophomore year, he lost for third and fourth. He got ducked right before the end of the match, and it was 2.
Right.
And Chris, Mr. Hansen's in the corner with me. And Jack looks at you gonna go challenge, and I'm like, dude, like
It was
challenge,
too, bro.
right?
Yeah, it
you're
was
down,
too.
dude. Like I can't. Your hands are on the mat. Like that was a takedown.
Yeah,
I'm
what do you want me
sorry.
to do?
So like those things, I won't go challenge.
Right.
But if I think I'm out there for our kids,
You're advocating.
I'm
for them,
advocating
yeah.
for them. And
For
so
sure.
Those are like my own kids. I love them. So I'm gonna go try to fight for them. And if I'm their voice and I don't get it, then hey,
I went back and
Yeah.
crap out of luck. I tried, but sorry, dude.
if you watch matches and you see Gabe in the corner, right? What I always found pretty cool is he would absolutely make sure that he did everything in his power to make sure that kid got a fair call, right? And I thought that was huge because some of those kids, it's questionable. Things are questionable. Calls are questionable. But if you would ask a kid, hey, who do you want there? Troy will tell you, hey, you shouldn't have got yourself there, right? Which I understand that. There's a place for that. But when you're going in for these big, you're trying to get points or trying to do this big thing. I don't know. It was amazing to see you do that. So we're gonna miss that for sure.
Well, real quick funny story. Last year, Zinken Classic, the funny one with Adam Terapella. I'm still pissed off about that because I did beat him. I got him. I know I did. And then after the match, we talked to Rick, and I was like, dude, did you guys like stiff arm me because he's an NCAA champ? Like that's bullshit.
Yeah,
like
that's
what's
crap,
going on?
right.
So
He's like, I wrestled in college too,
yeah,
bro.
Adam's like 1-0 against me, but I think I won that call. So
And who was the ref on that one?
I
Was it
think he was a
McKinney?
Sac Joaquin guy.
Okay.
There you go.
Whatever. It
They're
is
tough
what it
calls,
is.
and I look,
Yeah.
I have nothing but respect for the refs, right?
No,
But
of
they got to
course.
make those calls.
It's a hard job.
But if I'm wrestling, and I tell them, you go find Gabe because this is going to be a tough match, right? Because you don't know, and it's
Right.
good, but mostly it's the technical work and the things, the eye, to be able to see things and dial it in. It's a thing of beauty to watch you do that, right? Because you'll see this kid and you hit it. You've seen it 1,000 times. You have over a decade here, of coaching. It's a big deal, but you can dial it in. A lot of people, that takes time. It's an art to be able to see a match and see it for what it is, 2 or 3 moves ahead, and you're trying to figure that out. I think that's something that'll be missed tremendously. But sure.
Now, we had Jacob Wright last week, right?
Mhm.
And so he said he doesn't really coach too hard. And I haven't seen him yet because I wasn't at last week's tournament. Would you say that you're animated, or do you coach the kids pretty hard in the corner?
As you get older, you start thinking about things that other coaches said. When I was young, I was crazy, out of my mind, like would go crazy. As I'm getting older now, I think it's like I don't know. Me personally, I'm getting older. I feel like I'm getting more relaxed. Like I've been around it for how long now?
Yeah.
15 years.
Right.
I think really the only time I really go crazy and I feel bad because I tell you, anyone else who's a dad, you guys are freaking crazy. You're out of your mind. Now that my kid's wrestling, he's becoming pretty good. Like I lose my shit. I can't handle
So
it.
you're a crazy dad, just like me and Juan,
Right.
which I always say. I still say we're not crazy, but
This is why we started this podcast.
100% crazy. Like I can't. You can't handle it. It just your blood boils, and as good as they do, it's like you always find something wrong,
course.
and I feel horrible afterwards. Like maybe an hour or two afterwards, it takes a little bit, but I was telling him, like, hey, dude, like
No,
I just
I can't
want
wait.
the best for you.
I can't wait till Gabe gets kicked out of his first
Oh
tournament.
no, yeah.
Yeah,
Because he got me at Zinken last year. He's like, dude, you got kicked out of the first tournament of the year, bro. I was like,
it was the first tournament of the year.
Well, you did say something really bad to the ref, but yeah.
But and those things happen out of passion.
right.
Which I get because I tell everyone that doesn't know, dude, like wrestling's the most passionate sport. Like, it's your kid out there.
And it is different when it's your kid.
It's
out
what's
there.
your kid,
Yeah.
but I was like, you're getting to fight for free. Like, it's a passionate sport, dude. Like, look, and that's your kid.
Yeah,
anytime your
sure.
kid's fighting, you're like, shit, I want them to win. They better win, or else I'm gonna,
Well, and I
get
tell
really mad.
because there's levels. There's levels of wrestling, right? And there's
Right.
levels of crazy parents, right? Where some people maybe they don't necessarily understand the rules or how that what
Right.
it is, and they just go crazy. Or some people like, which is a good question for me. I'll segue into something. How do you handle that after so many years of coaching? You got parents. Everybody has an opinion,
Mhm.
right? And some people hate you because your kids have beaten their kid, or you're in their corner, or whatever the case is. How do you handle parents, generally speaking, whether they're crazy or good?
Do
or
they get mad at me? Or?
Yeah, sure, any of that.
I don't take it personal. Like, it's just like anything else in life. Like, dude, they're passionate. It's their kid. You just got to take. It's part of the sport, man. Like, I get it. They're pissed because they think I'm wrong.
Right.
I've had a couple of times where parents have gone crazy on me, and then afterwards they tell me like, "Hey, I'm sorry," and like, dude, it's fine. I get it, man. That's your kid out there. Like, I don't take it personal. So,
right.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody's ever chased you out the car, chased you out to the car or anything crazy, right?
No, I've never had that crazy, but there are some crazy parents for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially here in Clovis, the Central Valley. I'm looking at two. Not so bad, but yeah.
I mean, it's.
I like to say we're passionate, not
passionate.
crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
I always tell them you gotta. It's an emotional thing, but you have to control your emotions. It is controlled aggression, right? On the mat. When to go, when not to go, when to explode, those kind of things. The rest of that is, look, I get it. Because I've seen parents where they get a little crazy. They've attacked a coach, their own coach.
Yeah. Now that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little much, right? And so hopefully, as you go forward and you say you're starting to zen, maybe a little more wisdom, and it's not so much, like I didn't hear, I will tell you, Jacob did not probably scream. Like he didn't lose his voice, right? So typically,
he'll lose it. It'll get there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I think Anthony brought up a good point last week. Was that like you put so much into the kids, you have a little more invested. Like Jacob's just starting, so he doesn't have as much invested in the kid. Once he puts more of his heart and soul into a kid, he may feel a little more emotionally attached to it.
Oh, sure.
And that I always try to, yeah, for sure. I always try to tell the parents if I work with their kids specifically, like. It's business. Like if they don't perform, it's a reflection of me. Like I want the best for them, and if they mess up, like I gotta fix that. If I don't fix that, then I don't really care.
Yeah.
So like I take it personally, not on the kid or the parent thing, just me internally. Like I gotta fix that. That's me. I gotta do that. And so, like I said, it's a messed up sport, man. It's
and this is why, like
crazy.
you teach. I want to say high level stuff, but you teach very advanced stuff. And when kids either gravitate to it or they don't, there's things that some people struggle with, right?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Like trying to get a kid to understand that technique or that thing that you're working through, or is your approach the same with every single kid?
No, it's hard. Like I said, right now I'm having a hard time like working with my own kid. He's getting there. He's getting, like, if you watch him wrestle, he's pretty technical, but just going back and just teaching him regular, like, basic stuff, I have a hard time teaching that because
your style is a little different.
But then when like I was at Buchanan, you have like 15 superstars, and you don't have to show them. They're just
they
technically they can pick it up super quick,
right.
And so it's hard, dude. Like it's hard going back teaching basic stuff. I can do it, but
you're used to dealing with a certain level wrestler.
Right, they come to you at a certain level of whatever it is that they're performing, and you're enhancing that, right?
Yeah.
But even in all fairness to Little Jet, right? He's like 10, 11, 10. How old's he?
10, yeah.
So what is Jet, a fifth grader now?
We held him back. He'll be in fourth. He's in fourth.
You're one of those crazy parents.
No, he was struggling really bad academically.
Look, all of that is, I think people will make a decision, whatever, but it is a decision that people make. Hey, what do you want to do with that?
Yeah, we did.
And I always tell people it's a maturity thing. Yeah. Boys mature way different than girls. I'm grateful that when we had those discussions, it's about how do you get them to evolve, not only physically, because some boys, they're underdeveloped when they come into school, and you can see that they struggle physically.
Some hit it early, some hit it late.
Right.
Kind of depends.
And so, you go through that, but that's good. So Gabe, over back to Clovis North, are you excited about the season? What are you guys thinking? How do you see that playing out this year? Your first year out there helping out.
Yeah, no, super excited. We had like our first official, like, you know how the Empire runs,
like a team, like a club practice kind of
club
thing.
practice. Yeah, this past week, and I told all our kids, I said, dude, on the way to work this morning, I had anxiety. Like, I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And just going over some of the stuff, like, they picked it up super fast. Like, I only had 2 or 3 things I was going to go over in the hour and a half. And then as we're going into it, I looked at Coach Barry and Coach Riley. I said, dude, these kids are picking this up fast. Like, I think we can go faster and faster. So I'm super pleased right now. Like, with the kids, they are buying in. When I'm talking, they're just like looking dialed in, and I'm like overly excited about what our kids are bringing to the table right now. They look hungry. We got some new coaches in there. We got younger guys. So, everyone's showing up. It's exciting.
I think that's awesome.
Me, yeah, it's
I mean, I'm friends with some of the parents over there, and we talk about it. I said, you guys are getting a very good. I mean, technically, you pick his brain. Sit there, make sure your kids understand it, what it is that they're trying to do, because it's incredibly helpful. Anybody that's there that's trying to help them, right? But this year, right? So you have, is it more freshmen? Or are you having like a brand new class kind of thing, or is it mixture?
We have, it's mixture really. We have a lot of juniors. We have a lot of juniors. How many guys are on the Buchanan team? Like 60.
No, there's so many. So is that a different approach to you, since you left the program that had 60 plus kids? And
can't even explain to you how different.
Yeah.
Like, at first I was like, God, these kids don't like me. Like,
right.
Coming in, it's just different, because when you're around for so long and then
you get used
established.
To a thing, right?
It gets established. Like, Buchanan's established right now.
Right.
So every kid at the school wants to come out because they're winning. They Troy's done a great job of building a culture, like holding kids accountable, consistency. All kids crave structure. They want to be part of that.
Oh,
so now you have 60 kids, a few that have walked on that.
But at least now, you walked it, you talked it, and then you're taking that over to the north.
And I'm trying, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's different. There's about 25, 30 kids right now. It was like a culture shock for me, just going from 60 kids to like 25, 30. Now it's like, holy crap, like, this is hard, but there's more room. There's more one-on-one.
You can actually finish a takedown.
Yes. There, you can walk around and help kids. Yeah. And we have like 9 or 10 coaches in there right now. So I always tell the kids, like, hey, you're kind of lucky because
they're getting a lot of attention.
You're getting a lot of attention from coaches. And if I see 2 kids over there, there's not a coach, I can just kind of walk around and go help. It's not like there's like 3 or 4 in a group. And so, it's definitely different. But it's exciting. I mean,
that's cool.
It's new.
You get to start and build something.
Yes,
right?
You build, and change is hard, but this has been exciting too.
Now, are there any kids on the team, sleeper wise, or that some people might not know about that you're excited about?
Yeah, we have the Del Bosque twins. I think they're going to be really tough. They want to wrestle all the time.
Yeah.
The Sinfeld twins are going to be really tough.
Those are big. Those are big kids, man.
Their dad.
Football players too.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big their dad was.
Big, right?
He's huge. He's a Raiders fan too.
Oh,
so
nice.
I like that.
I like him already.
Yeah. Elijah Ortiz. I think
is he a junior?
He's a junior.
Okay,
that's what I said. We have a good junior class, and then Johnny, almost like the kid's super technical. So we have a couple of good little 8th graders coming in. So I think we have some tough kids. Like, I think we'll be okay. So
it's a building process, right?
Yeah.
And I know you guys had some people that left the program, right, when the transition happened and everything, and people,
So what do you think about that, Gabe? I mean, did it really matter? It doesn't really matter. You're fresh to start anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. Like, I transferred myself.
Right.
I went over to Close High from Madera. So, like, I always say, you got to do what you got to do. What's best for your kid. I don't get mad. I don't take it personal. If you want to leave, if that's what you think's better for you, go do that. I'm okay with that. Like, it doesn't bother me. And, at the time, my dad did that because he thought that was the best thing for me. And so, it worked out. It worked out for me. I was happy. And, Troy's dad is like a second father to me. And he, everything we take. So I always say, like, it kind of reminds me of all the coaches in the Big Ten. At least, I think there's half of them have wrestled for Gable. And
Right.
so, like me, Troy,
Now it's like a
Adam,
coach
we've all,
into tree,
a
right?
lot of them have coached for Coach Derpelli. And so, like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's taught me a lot of things coaching wise. I took a lot from him. I still do. And I still talk to him. I'll ask him, hey, what do you think about this? Can you help me out? Or even Coach Hansen. Like, Coach Hansen's a whiz too. Like, you just ask him, and he's been around so long. So, yeah, they want to move. They can move, man. I don't care.
I think transfers is a part of something. I mean, it is. We could do a whole episode on that, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
But it is. I think when people make a decision, whatever the reason or the rationale, right? It's because I believe truly in their heart they want to do what's best for their kid.
yeah, of course.
And that's something that people have always said about Buchanan. Well, man, those kids, there's like 3 deep, right? Their B lineup beats most people's A lineups, right?
Yeah.
Why do they stay there? And there's always that question. Now that you're on a different side where you have less kids in the room right now, right? Different perspective. What do you think about that?
Being at Buchanan, that's completely true. Where there's kids that, B guys, they make each other better, man. Like, how many times are you going to get to say you're going in a room, and if you go up a weight, practice partner, you're wrestling a guy who's top 3 in the state. You go down a weight, there's 2 guys of your weight that you're working out with somebody every single day. That's a top 3 kid in the state. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, it was kind of the same situation. There's not really any escape where you're practicing. You're like, shit, I don't get a day.
There's no easy day
There's
off.
no easy day.
I want to kind of just relax and kind of take it easy to see if Troy or Gabe are watching. And like, dude, I just want to chill, but you don't really get that. I mean, so I think there's definitely benefits to it. Like, I can tell you right now how many college coaches I've talked to where they come in and like, hey, who's this guy that you got right here? Oh, that's our, it's our other guy. Man, really looking at him like they look, if they see Buchanan, they're looking at the B guys. So I think it's good. I think it's good. And
Well, I mean, the guys like that, and just to continue on this little bit here, it's when you see that, you see like a Michael Giaffre, right? Who didn't make that lineup, waited in the wings, but the kid, every national tournament he went, he was doing great. And then when it was his time, he rose to the occasion. Now, some guys are willing to hold that off, right? And say, hey, I'm going to do that because I'm going to stick to the plan. And then whenever I get my time to shine, I'm going to do that. Some kids, they want to transfer, they transfer. I don't, it is part of what happens.
For sure.
Buchanan has had, in the past, had people that transferred out, right?
Yeah.
It's not uncommon.
I didn't take it personally. Like I said, I transferred myself. I 100% get it, dude. Like, how many times are you guys going to run into that where you have a kid that's a backup and for 3 years and it's like, damn, dude, like, I want to wrestle at the state tournament. Like, it's hard.
There's kids. I mean, you could have been a 2-3 time placer, right?
For sure, absolutely. It's hard, and I know as a parent, like it's hard, but to say that they're not getting better, they're 100% getting better.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, you steel sharpens steel. That whole thing, right?
Absolutely.
They go out there, they get better. I think when people ask, well, why are they so good? It's because they go after some of the best kids in those weight classes in the state, not just and they're out there and they're getting each other to that point where they are dialed in. By the time that state tournament comes around, people always say, well, why do they keep winning it?
Well, and that's you brought up a good point too. Is I don't know, people know this. Troy does a good job, and he would always call me in, during the week and say, hey, what do you think about this? And people always ask me, why doesn't Buchanan ever send like a full team to a tournament? Well, because we have different weights where there's different tournaments that are going. Right. We're always trying to look for the Poway kids. We're always trying to when I was there, we were always trying to look for the Poway kids, the Temecula Valley kids, wherever the good kids were, whatever weight, we were always trying to send that kid there because we're not going to see them. And if we lose them, I mean, we're kind of screwed.
You'll see them maybe when a Doc B.
Right, Doc B. You might not get that opportunity.
Yeah, you got to wrestle them. Troy does a good job of seeking out, going after, not hiding, and
protecting.
I'm not saying who, but a lot of people are always trying to protect their rank.
You see it. You see the guys that are butting up against the match count. And the guys that maybe have had 18, 20 matches the whole year. That's crazy to me.
I think if you want to be a good wrestler, you should want to seek out the best dudes, right?
Absolutely. Like, go and wrestle the best so you can say you're the best.
You see him eventually anyway. So
I'm a huge believer you go to a tournament and don't, wrestle that guy so you can say, when they say, oh, that guy,
Yeah.
I beat him. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pound for pound the best guy. Don't
Absolutely.
hide
Those
or
head to heads
anything.
are huge.
Yep.
I did
Yeah,
appreciate that. I think when we were sent to different places, like last year, right? That was kind of interesting. We ended up at La Hamada or whatever, way
Oh,
down south, right?
yeah.
And good Lord, that was an all nighter.
The far
But
drive.
it was
Oh, that was the
yeah.
best tournament ever.
Oh, you were so stoked.
super excited.
There was nothing better than seeing just Gabe just in defeat, just
the hard
for
luck
time.
tournament
Yeah,
running
man.
into the finals. I was like, dude.
well
this is
for people who
great.
don't know, right? So that tournament, they include like a hard luck, whatever what do they call it? Hard luck.
Hard luck. Like you go
Tournament.
1 and 2 or 0 and 2.
So you win,
right?
and then
I
we're gonna
get
do
it,
another
dude.
little tournament
Nah,
inside
man.
of it. I don't get that, man.
I don't get
That's
it.
ridiculous. We
You
just
gotta give the
drove
kids
5
matches.
hours, 6
I know.
hours to get down there. I think that's
But
crazy.
not running into the finals. I was just like, oh my
But
God,
it is their
dude.
tournament, and kudos
Yeah.
to you guys. I
I
think
mean,
it's on our schedule
It's
this
a
year
good-
again. So
it's a good tournament if it wasn't for the extra time in between
it's
the
ludicrous.
finals or whatever with kids that shouldn't still be wrestling.
all right, for the record, we got home at what? And it's not like it's
2
just
in the
us.
morning,
People
2
that
in
have
the
done
morning.
these drives, right? 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but it was fun. The kids got to
It was cool.
bond.
The
and
venue's cool. That
Yeah.
venue there is cool.
I think we got like an 8 hour sleep, and they got to the turn.
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
wrestle the backside,
Yeah,
finish it up.
yeah.
But so question for you on these: how do you handle like you get kids? I've been meant to ask you this. What is your thoughts when a kid is being recruited? What advice would you give them? Like, say they're going into their junior year, right? And you've seen a lot of great kids that come through. Had
Yeah.
some pretty highly ranked kids that were recruited pretty high. What advice do you give them as like say they're going to season, they have made a decision or
It's different now. Obviously, like the recruiting, the whole thing is so different now. What is it called?
The
The
NIL.
NIL.
Yeah.
God, that's
And-
so
yep.
bad. I mean,
name and likeness,
I
right?
believe in it, but it's extreme right
Well, that's
now.
why you see all the transfers, right? There's some shady back deals.
So I don't believe in the whole transfer thing. Like we couldn't transfer. We were
Right.
back in
So
school.
you don't
and I'm a-
like the transfer portal?
No,
for
I
college?
don't. I think just
But coaches transfer all the time. I don't want to hear that. Like I don't. I
but-
just disagree with that. Right? The kid they're talking about punishing a kid
Right.
when he transfers is punishing a kid and not letting him wrestle for a year. Right? That's the discussion that's happening.
Talking about high school,
College,
college, right?
and the coaches can leave.
Right.
You just had that situation at Stanford, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Come on, he was there like what 2 years?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to transfer once. I don't care if it's within the conference, but when you're in high school and you're becoming an adult, a young kid, like that's the biggest decision of your life.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, where am I going to go to college? Like, I know me personally, my dad always told me, you decide where you want to go. The day you sign that piece of paper, that's the biggest decision of your life. If you decide to come home, I'm not supporting it. You better find a job.
You better not come back.
Me, like, yeah. And so I always had that in the back of my mind. Like, I definitely got homesick. I missed home. And, I had to sit out my freshman year. I didn't get to wrestle. I had to wrestle Kyle Ott, who was a 2-time NCAA runner-up. It was hard, man. Like it was hard to do, but I stuck it out and it helped. And I always tell the kids now, if they're getting recruited, take your time. Like it's super. I mean, the first coach you hear from is like, oh man, they took me here.
They were excited.
Like it's hard.
Right. Well, they get excited, right? And they want.
Yeah, and then you're like, man, that coach is great. I love him. And then they don't want to go on the next trip. I'm like, dude, they're all going to sell you that.
Of
It's
course.
a business.
Of course.
Like, they're all going to
They
like
gotta
you,
look.
and
It's
they give you their Instagram. Like, this is what it'll look like.
Oh,
this
of course,
is here.
right?
And it's
Yeah.
like, just wait it out. Like, take your time. Don't rush. But it's hard for kids, man. Like, the whole social media stuff is such a big
Well, you didn't have to
influence
deal with
now.
stuff like that when you were
Never.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a different animal.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
and they still have the same. Like the schedules are tough enough, right?
Yeah.
They have to
well,
go.
especially
They're
when Gabe was in
traveling.
the Big Ten. I mean, that's
Right.
brutal.
That he
Yeah.
doesn't get.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
The Big Ten, right?
Yeah, Big Ten. I mean,
Getting the guy getting recruited, having those discussions. I think I look forward to. I think in the future we're trying to book the Cortez twins, right? Having
Yeah.
that discussion with them. What is that process for you right now? That recruiting process. It'd just be great for these
Well, it's
younger kids,
interesting, right?
right? So they can understand like this is what's happening. This is things that are going on. That NIL has changed a lot, right? 'Cause
Like it's
the
changed
whole game is upside
the
down.
whole game, and it's completely different now. Like
Yeah.
there's some things I like I mean, when I was in college, I would get a $1,200 check, and you have to learn how to live. Like you're paying.
That's
Figure
it.
out, yeah.
I think I had like $150 the first day of paying bills. I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do with the $150? Like I can't even go to the
There's
movies. Like
a lot of
nothing.
cup of noodles
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah.
This is
So,
ramen all day.
But now, if you do good enough in high school where you're like a phenom.
Well,
It's
now
like,
they
hey,
get paid, right? Even in high school, you're
it's
getting paid.
absolutely crazy. It's like
Bo
it
Bassett
drives
had
me.
a deal with Rudis, right? I mean, those
Yeah,
kind
look,
of things.
look at Bo
Dude.
Bassett. He's got to deal with Rudis. I
Oh,
mean,
does he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm sure he has other sponsorships we don't know about, but I mean, he's a high school sophomore with one of the bigger wrestling.
To me, the flash to
companies.
bang is look, these opportunities in life don't come that often.
Yeah.
So you do the best that you can with what you have. My only issue is I think, especially on the West Coast, the kids that go to the East Coast, for me, this is just my opinion,
Right.
is I think they struggle because, that freshman year, it's really tough.
Super
But
tough.
the support system that they have is not that easy, where on the East Coast, if they're close enough, they could drive up
All
there,
the states are a little
put a little beating on that
right?
kid. You
Yeah.
better focus. You got to get to whatever you need to do. And you're a little further away.
Yeah.
It's just tough. I could see that where that adulting, that process of now I'm not only in a very competitive room,
Yeah.
I got to make sure I'm disciplined. The discipline is everything, of course. But I just think if you had to tell anybody, you're telling them, take your time, don't rush into a decision, talk to all of the coaches.
Yes.
I think now the rule has changed. I think it used to be like 5 trips.
Now they could go
As
many
want,
times as they
right?
want.
It's unlimited,
Trips,
yeah.
which I like that. To be honest with you, I do like the unlimited trips. I remember I only took 2 trips. I went to Fresno State and Illinois. I wanted to go to ASU, but I knew once I got back from Illinois, I was like, I'm going there. And my dad, ethically, is like, if you're going there, don't take the other trip. That's wrong. So I didn't go to ASU. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think the kids should look into that, and we'll get other people's perspective, like
Yeah, of
the
course.
modern era of what recruiting is looking like now, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I think things have changed, and you hear people getting NIL money that is insane. I
know, right?
think it's crazy with these kids.
My kid better.
He's gonna get paid.
If he doesn't, I'm pissed off.
No, with what am I saying? With the whole, you see a lot of California kids, especially like high level kids. Like we've seen it from Buchanan too, where they have a lot of high school success, and then they go to college and not so much. What do you think? What do you think that's for?
What do you attribute that to?
Like we've seen, we've seen some, kids state champs do really well, and then high school or college they just kind of fall off.
I don't know. Honestly, it could be weather. Like honestly,
so?
I don't know. Like it's a lot of California kids go.
Like you see it a
and they
lot,
can't-
right?
I talk about it with buddies all the time. Like I don't understand why California kids can't do it.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like people don't understand how hard it is, dude. Like,
Going away is tough, and especially when you've had a support. My thought is you do have to have a support plan.
Does it come to like what you were saying? They're far from home. You're kind of
It's hard.
You're basically on your own.
I know for me when I got there by October, like I was already like, screw this. This shit's cold.
wanna go
And people are like, dude, you're already wearing sweaters. Like it's fine. I'm like, dude, it's cold. And Hispanic kid in Illinois.
No, but it's
50
true. But we're not used to that. Like
we're not used to that.
Yeah, we'll go to
And
tournaments.
that's
Like
a
we went
real
to
thing.
we were in Iowa last year in April.
Yeah,
I was freezing my ass off, and it wasn't even that cold.
it's different, man.
Yeah.
like I
Look,
said, like even just the home cooked meals, your
Yes,
family,
that
your
to me is-
close. It's hard. You don't know how to like
It's a
do your
different
laundry
culture,
or
right?
anything.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I remember watching the documentary Flo did on Roman Bravo Young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about immediately. He's like, "I'm done. I'm out. This is not for
Yeah.
me. Deuces,
yeah,
right?"
It's
But
real.
I do think it's that support, and it's not letting them mentally toughen them, getting them ready for this. And this is what happens when you finally get out there in the world. It's tough, right? I just think the kids. There is some success stories. Absolutely, there's guys that are doing phenomenal out there, right?
And not to cut you off, but I'm a huge believer in what my dad told me.
Mhm.
If you come home, I'm not supporting this decision.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed off at you. And he was hard on me, dude. Like
You're getting paid to wrestle. My whole point is
that
like,
was his thing with me is this is your way out, dude. Like
Yeah, get an education.
It's getting paid for. Don't come home. Like
Right.
yeah, it'll.
Well, it's just
it'll
like an
feel
honor
good.
thing, right? It's an honor thing, right? Like
Yeah,
honor what you
yeah.
said, your word.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's
don't go do basket weaving, but
No,
go get
yeah.
a degree.
And
They're going to pay for that. Eventually, this will end.
And I know that's your kid. It's hard, dude. As a parent, like they're hurting. Like they're homesick, but yeah, it's
Don't come
hard,
home.
man.
Yeah, don't come home.
It's like the bar, right? I tell
Figure
people,
it
hey,
out.
it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
You ain't coming back here,
Yeah.
right? That's my point. But well, good. Like Gabe. So what else? I mean, is there anything else you want to like share with us about this move and kind of what it's doing for you and how is it freeing? Do you feel like, well, it's an opportunity to start something fresh and do something, was it getting older in the tooth for you? Like, I've just been here such a long time. Winning is repetitive?
No, I mean, like I said, Troy's my best friend. We start. I think a lot of people think when we got to Buchanan, like, man, they've always been good. They've always had kids. Like, we started at Buchanan, we had 19, 20 kids on the team.
It's just like in North
it was
now,
just
right?
like North, and so we had to work, man. Like, it was hard, and Troy does a great job. It was hard to get people to buy into administration, but once you get it going, people see what's going on. That's how it just takes off. And I'm excited. I always tell that I've told the parents, I've told the kids, like, hey, we're going to be doing a lot of the same things that they do at Buchanan, because we got that from Coach Terrapelli. Adam does a great job. So I'm doing a lot of the same things, but I want to do things like with the twists, just the culture, bringing, Troy does a really, really good job of holding kids accountable, being consistent. And I think, like I said, I've had a great mentor like him.
Yeah.
His dad,
Why break
his
with the
brother.
recipe, right? If success is you
Yeah.
emulate success and you put your own spin on it.
Yeah. And that's what,
and you were a part of it all those years, so you
Part
know
of
what
it.
it is.
Absolutely.
And it was, this sounds so bad. I always tell people, but you win 7 or 8 in a row, and it's like, dude, like,
What
how
more?
much more
What
can
more do
like
we gotta
I
do?
wanted to win a national championship. Like, how come we can't get to the what were we, the public school national
Right.
championship? Why can't we beat, and so
The preps and whoever.
the preps, and it's like, not saying that I wasn't grateful, but it just got to a point where it's just like,
Kind of
dude,
done and
like,
accomplished, and it just
like I remember the first year we beat Clovis High, and it was just like, oh my god, we did it. Like, I don't think you guys weren't there yet, but dude, I think the first time we wrestled them, the score was close to like 100-0. They blanked us. It was so bad, dude.
Man.
I mean, they had like a murderer's
That's a
row
beating.
of heavyweights from like 70 to heavyweight with the
They
Nevilles,
always have good heavyweights.
all
Clovis
those guys,
does,
man. It was just like 30 seconds into pin, 20 seconds pin. It was just like, oh god, this is so bad. And when we beat him was that first year we had little Matthew Olgin at one weight, turned into a monster now. He's like wrestling 60.
Right.
He's like,
It's
he's
nuts.
like 165.
Yeah,
right?
dude,
it's crazy.
he's
And
huge.
yes.
Yeah, he's big, but
He had
that
a great
was
far carry.
Oh yeah, carry,
Yeah.
carry. But that was me and him. I remember just hugging Troy and just looking at him like, dude, we did it. Like, I cannot believe we beat them. I never thought that'd be possible. Like, they were so good, and it just goes to show the harder you work, the more you do. I'm a really, really firm believer, and Troy always said it, like, we got to do more than Clovis High. We have to. They're doing 3 days, we got to do 4. We got to do 2 hours, we got to do 2.5. Like, you just have to do more, and that's how you catch up to these people.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm reminded of the moment where, like, Drake and Jordan Burroughs are wrestling, and he finally beat him, right? And he's patting him on the chest and telling him whatever. But he said, "Because of you, you made me better.
You made him better. Yeah.
You
He
made
strive
me
to be better than him. Right?
every day. All I dreamed about was beating you, or working hard to get to this point, and
Right.
he did. So in that moment, when you guys had that moment, you beat Clovis, confetti's flying off or whatever you guys are doing, and then the consistency to do it, again, and then you built this thing.
And then the good part about that is then you get like Poway. Like, I totally respect him. I love Coach down there. I mean,
Myers, yep.
Yeah, Coach Myers. He calls me all the time. We talk, and it's like, dude, I think they're doing a great job down there, but they're trying to catch us. And then you see what DC's doing at Giroy. Like, he's doing a good job, man. Like, they're all trying to catch.
Well, you say, right? Heavy lies the crown, right?
Yeah, like, and you always hear from like, damn. Like, you're not going to catch them. Like, I don't know. It's
Well, I think it's a testament to the program that you helped build, right?
Yeah.
With Troy doing what he does. And I always, my biggest things, I don't like when people say they diminish what the kids do. No, just because you walk into that room and you put a B on your chest does not make you better. It absolutely gives you a little bit of sense of pride that you want to do better, but you got to put in the work. No one can take that away. I remember coming in the room and not knowing what to expect, and not watching, my own son not score a single takedown in practice. And I'm like, wow, did we make a mistake, right? Like, what's good? But it's humbling because you work with some of the best kids there. They're working hard, and who's there, right? He's jumping in there with Joe Martin, guys that are state placers, that are top guys. I think that was
impressive. Guys that are
impressive.
going to D1 wrestling program.
Yes, they're there. I mean,
I think the all-time greatest story of Buchanan, of the epitome of what you just said, where your kid couldn't get taken down. Raymond Lopez.
yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that dude's 7th grade. I was like, Troy, just, like, who the hell is this kid that just keeps showing up? Like,
Yeah,
this
he
kid
does
doesn't
not
know
Ride
how
on
to
his
do.
bike.
This
to
kid doesn't know how
practice.
to do anything. Like, but he won't get out of here. Like, he keeps asking me to extra. Like, dude,
Yeah.
go home, get out of here. And then 8th grade,
He was a mad
this
junkie.
kid, does he go to weightlifting too? Dude, he's on time every day. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, freshman year, dude, he only weighs like 95 pounds, but he wants to keep resting. He's getting his ass kicked every day. Like, how has he not quit yet?
Yeah.
Sophomore year, is he going to make our lineup? I think he is. Holy crap. And then junior, he's in the state finals.
Yeah,
and I
that
remember
was
Troy would
nuts.
tell the kids every single day, Raymond Lopez will be in the state finals one day. You watch. And I was like, oh,
Why you?
like, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, God, I get teary-eyed just thinking about that kid all the time. Like, what he went through, and
there.
just, dude, that's just the total, like, hard, just life.
Yeah.
Life
just his
in
family
general,
situation.
just like, yeah, just, but that's just life in general, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that kid overcame so much, and just, he didn't have an excuse for anything. I don't have a ride. I don't care. I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, ride my bike to weightlifting. I'll shower at the school. I'll do whatever I have to do. And it was just like, dude, this kid just wants to be a part of
Well,
something.
he wants to be
and just
successful,
win.
right?
And guess what? He's going to be successful in
Yeah.
life because he's such a good person and such a hard worker. And I think what Troy's created there is, if you can get through the Buchanan wrestling room, you'll be fine at, like, going into college. You should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think
Yeah.
that's impressive, man. I saw that young man the first time I came in the room, saw Raymond Lopez doing whatever, and I said,
who the
his
hell is
work
this kid?
ethic doesn't stop,
No.
right? He is moving, always trying to improve, and when you want to be successful more than you want to breathe, that kind of mentality,
Oh, yeah.
then you will be successful.
Well, I always used him as like an example because it's like he wasn't really physically gifted.
No.
He wasn't like a super technical wrestler, but he just had heart. He kept going
He
and
allowed work
going
you.
and going.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the epitome of, hard work beats talent,
Yeah,
For
when
sure.
hard work, when
Wasn't
talent
the
doesn't work
strongest
hard, right?
kid,
Yeah.
Wasn't the best technician, but I'm telling you, by the time he left that room, he was one of the best technicians because, like I said,
Well, I seen
Hey,
him. I
can
seen
you-
him
can
over
you-
the summer when he was down, and he was just eating up some of these kids, and I was like,
oh shit, you got Raymond coming on
Yeah,
you? 3 minutes?
You're in trouble.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
You're
You're
in
be
trouble.
breathing
And he right
hard.
there bouncing around,
And
ready
it's
to go,
kids will look up at the clock and they're like at 10 seconds and they want to cruise. Raymond will go if he could score 3, 4 more times in that 10 seconds, he'll do it.
yeah.
He'll just won't
Crazy.
stop.
He had one of the best matches years ago, Doc B semifinals with Bo Montanona. He was down.
yeah.
He was down like 14-2,
Yep.
and then coming back and beating him. And it was like one of the best
It's just-
matches I've ever seen.
Never stops.
Yeah, he
It's
just kept
crazy.
going.
He's like, what the hell's
It's
wrong with this
crazy.
kid? He just jumps up.
Well,
down.
and he drank the Kool-Aid and then some.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He believed in what they were telling him, that if he did X, he could be there. And Troy telling everybody he's going to be this, and you're saying,
Yeah.
man, I don't know about this. Who's this kid again?
But that's
right.
I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys are following Deion Sanders right now, dude.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
that's
the
awesome,
same
man.
thing, man. Like what I'm trying to do at Clovis North right now. I follow Deion Sanders and I listen to everything he says, and it's like, oh my god, this guy is amazing.
They're drinking
Like,
his Kool-Aid.
dude. Totally.
Yeah.
Like, how can you take a 1-11 team where you go in and all these kids are like, I ain't playing for that dude. That dude's crazy. Like, shit, I can't wear a hat to a meeting. I can't wear flip flops.
He's got
holy
8
shit.
toes.
Like, yeah, like, but you were playing for one of the best guys to ever do it.
Yeah, he knows
And
it, right?
He knows it as a player, but
Right.
you think, and I hear a lot of people saying like, well, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a coach. Like, as an athlete, one of the
He
greatest.
was one of the
But,
best cornerbacks
dude.
ever. Yeah.
I mean, it's what it's.
But
I
he
think
had success at a
coaching-
coaching level
yes.
at Jackson State too.
But I think coaching too is just like, how do you get kids to get dialed in? It's not specifically showing them the best move or you being the best. It's like, dude, how can I motivate these kids, and how can I get them to buy in? And like what he's doing is,
That's pretty
It's
neat.
pretty cool, yeah.
it's amazing.
Well,
So
I think this season will tell, right, how you guys do and how you progress. That stuff that you're bringing to them, I hope they bottle that for themselves and absorb it and drink
Yeah.
it like Kool-Aid, so
Yeah.
they can help themselves. Because I think down the road, it's only going to improve them and help them, and it's only going to help Clovis as a whole, right? This whole
Now-
area.
yeah, and that was the other thing too. Is I, talking to my fiance about it. Like, Clovis North is one of the best areas for wrestling. Like, I think here in Clovis, like, they have the best kids. If we can keep them there and we can do things and kids, just buy into it, like I think just for the Central Valley and just wrestling just in general,
Right.
like
Add like
I think
like
it'll be
another
great.
program.
Yeah, add another program and like
Because right now it's Clovis Buchanan.
Clovis
right?
Buchanan.
So-
Bakersfield's doing pretty good. Like they're going to be
They're a
pretty
young
tough this
team.
year.
Yep.
But I think that we can get there. And I've told them it's not happening in 1 year, dude.
No,
Like,
of course,
trust-
right. You're gonna have
it'll
growing
take some
pains. You're gonna have
time.
They're
growing
going to have their
pains.
growing. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But like I said, dude, I'm excited for the kids that we have, and the parents are buying in. So it'll
Right.
take some time, but I hope. Yeah.
Well, I think you'll do great things out there. We'll see how it all plays out, but and it's not without its challenges. You're gonna, there's gonna be days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are you gonna miss like the big one? Things like
Yeah,
that, right?
I think about that all the time. Like, man, damn, that's going to be a fun one.
The
But
Clovis versus
I'll watch
Buchanan.
it.
That's
Yeah,
a
and-
massive thing. I mean,
Yeah.
And to say that I'm not cheering for all the Buchanan kids, like, of course I'm going to cheer for.
Well, you
all
have
the
those
kids.
personal
Like,
relationships
dude,
with
yeah,
them, right? I
of
mean-
course. And it's going to be hard coaching at North when we wrestle.
I was gonna say, how do you think that duel's gonna go for you
it's-
emotionally?
I would expect Troy to beat the crap
Beat
out of him for
down.
sure, but
Well, we see-
after you.
Well, we seen him at the big one with his brother, right?
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
chewing and
my
at him
God.
and going
Yeah.
crazy with it.
but
How do you think those dinners go?
Well, they're either super awkward or it's just like, water
Well,
under the bridge.
I'm trying to get Troy on the podcast, so hopefully we can land
Good
him too
luck.
one day.
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
But that would be pretty cool. I just think about that though. Like they're so emotionally invested in
Yeah.
it because they care, they love, they're passionate about it, and that's what I do love about that
Yeah.
staff. When you were there, like you guys are passionate,
Yeah.
and it shows. But at the end of the day, the kids have to wrestle, and they got to
Yeah.
do their job, right? But I do think that the big one is going to be something you'll probably,
I will definitely miss the big one. Yeah, what Adam and Troy done with that has just been
It's pretty cool, right? I mean,
dude. I remember when CJ was like in 6th or 7th.
Yeah,
grade,
we've been
and I
going- we
remember
were
you've
going
been
forever.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I've seen it from the start of it. I was a part of it the first year when Buchanan, we were at Clovis High and we beat Buchanan before it got like the big one where
Right.
it really turned in. But yeah, it's just a great route. I'll miss it for sure.
for sure.
So, but I'm hoping to get there and then
Build your
we
own,
can
yeah.
do something. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think about it all the time. but
Now,
yeah.
is your schedule out already for?
We're
Clovis North?
almost done. We're almost done. I'm
Yeah.
trying to stay away from you guys.
Well, like,
Why
are you
is
doing
that
any
not?
out of state things or anything like that?
Next year. So, like I said, we have that junior class now, and I told them, I've told the parents, I want to try to do an out-of-state tournament every single
Seek
year.
the best competition.
Yeah,
100%.
and so
Great
we have
experience for the
that-
kids too.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
have that junior class. We'll have some 8th graders. That'll be pretty tough next year. So get 1 year under my belt, and then next year when that class, they're seniors, I think I'm going to take them to Illinois, and I think Clovis High is going to that this year. But one of my buddies, Tyrone Bird, wrestled with him at Illinois. He does a really good tournament. I think, what's that school that Davino goes to? And,
I know you're talking. I don't remember the
St.
name.
Charles
offhand.
East or-
yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
Like they have all our buddies that we wrestle with that are head coaches there. They have,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
So we're probably going to go to that, and then probably get a couple duels with a couple of those guys.
Sure.
So,
It's just
yeah.
mat time and
That's
the kids
good.
get
Yeah.
exposure. I
Yeah.
think that's why we're
Yeah.
doing this podcast, right? Get a little more exposure.
like I
for
said,
Right.
I'm
Central
Yeah.
Valley.
excited for our school. Obviously, I'm going to miss you guys, and I appreciate you guys even thinking about having me on here. It does a lot for me and our program. So,
Yeah, we definitely wanted to do it for that because I think, personally, I mean, I have nothing but respect for you, and the decision that you made is your decision to make,
Yeah.
right? And selfishly, I will, speak
Well,
for myself.
yeah,
We're going to
I
miss
mean,
you,
right.
right? But it is what it is, and definitely pick your brain and knowledge. I know Jonathan has nothing but respect, because you were in this corner, and you're his coach, and
Right.
any of those coaches that are down there.
Yeah.
That's just
Well, I think when
any of the
we
kids.
both kind of first shared, like we both kind of said, I was like, well, it kind of sucks, but we're happy for him to move forward and accomplish his own goals or whatever he wants to do. You can't hold anybody. You can't be
No.
mad at anybody for trying to seek out their own goals and do what they want to do.
yeah.
And there's change everywhere. I mean, we talked about it last week, but Gilroy, right?
Yeah.
Duran's moving down to Fountain Valley.
Oh, is he
He's
moving
taking
down?
over the RTC, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Jerry Abbas is at Gilroy now.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Jerry Abbas. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah.
He was in their corner of this
so
last
Duran's
weekend.
moving down to.
He went down south to Fountain Valley.
And what RT is there an RTC?
I
Yeah,
down
they
Yes,
have like
it-
I think it's the Orange County RTC.
Yeah,
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
what they called it. Yeah.
Okay, and then Jerry moved to Gilroy.
Yeah, he was
Did
in there
not
with his
know
kids.
any
It
of
was,
that.
very animated. It was wild. It's going to be interesting. So, like I said, these things happen. People
That's-
move.
but like I said, Troy's done a good job building. People
Right.
are tired of Buchanan winning it.
Yeah, no,
and
I know.
that's a good feeling to have.
Right.
Like, man, people just hate Buchanan.
I hope he
I'm
keeps
so
doing
sick
it
of
for
these
as long
guys.
as he wants to do it, because I don't think people understand or appreciate how hard it is to stay on top.
That's
Climbing the ladder. We're always climbing the ladder, but to stay at that level
Right.
and do it in day out, it's not a fluke. When
No.
you do it 8-9 years, that's not a fluke.
Well, it's easy to chase, right? Because you always have a point, right?
Right.
So I'm chasing,
Everybody's
I'm
gunning.
chasing. But when you got nothing else to chase for other than just keep it going, it's hard,
and
man.
people don't understand how
Yeah.
hard it is. And I was explaining to our parents at our team meeting, like it's so hard to win a state championship as a team. Like a lot of things have to go right.
Right,
It doesn't have to be perfect, but
And you got to have depth. I mean, you have to have a
but
total
that's
team.
what people don't understand is Bosco's going to win this year. They got like 6 guys in the finals. I know, but where's the other 8? What are the other?
They
8
only
doing?
have
Like
6 guys, right?
And that's what people don't understand is
Yeah.
Buchanan always has 14 guys, and those 7th, 8th placers are going to rack up 3 or 4
Well, even
pins
like last
coming
year-
back. Like those 2 it's huge,
Yeah.
and people don't understand.
Well, even
that.
last year, when you were on the staff, like Anthony's talked about it before too. It was like you had all 14 guys that one match away from placing
Yeah.
all of them.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of
That's a
points.
lot of points.
Yeah.
And then these other schools have 9 qualifiers. Those 5 slots where they don't have a guy,
Right.
they're getting 0 points. And
Right.
it's like, man, so
I personally think this year is going to be one of the most difficult years if Buchanan was to do it again.
Yeah.
Just we've talked about this,
Yeah,
but it's an issue. Like they have the most question marks. A lot of other teams have a lot of returning things, but somehow I believe they're going to find a way again to place those weights and win another state title. That's my opinion. I mean, but we'll see what happens, right?
and like I said, I know I'm gone, but I will be rooting for you guys the whole time. I don't want Poway to win. I don't want,
Right.
I don't want
Right.
Gilroy to win. Like I want
No.
Buchanan to win.
I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait the season get going.
I'm excited for the
Yeah.
season.
My favorite time of year, right? So we'll see how this goes. We cannot thank you enough, Gabe, for coming on, talking to us. We really appreciate having that conversation about kind of what you're doing out there. We look forward to it and see what happens,
Yeah,
right?
we
And
wish
then maybe
Megan-
at the end of the year, have you again, talk about what you learned.
We'll be trying to stay away from you guys as much
No,
as possible.
but we wish Gabe nothing but the best over there and hopefully success, but not for like maybe another couple more years. Or
Yeah,
something.
until you guys are out. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But so guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, we have Gabe Flores today talking about what his move was and what it took to get there, and what ultimately I think he's going to be something very special for that program. Please, if you like the content, go down there, click that subscribe button, give us some likes.
Or if there's anybody who
comments.
you want us to get on or you think would be cool,
Yeah,
let
for
us
sure.
know.
We're already, just for so everybody knows, we're like 6 weeks out, which I was shocked. It was we had a lot of positive feedback. We're trying to get, like I said, the Cortez twins on here. That looks very promising. I'm reaching out to Coach Greg Varela. He's said hey, I'd love to come on. So we're going to try to schedule him. We'll have some other people. We'll have some other wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. We're going to have some other folks. I think people are going to be really pleased with our lineup.
Gabe, who would you like to see on here? Like, who would you want to hear something from?
With these crazy dads about craziness.
Adam's always good.
Yeah.
See, I want to have Adam on here, but
Adam's.
I don't know Adam very well. So.
well, he's got he's got his
Adam's
opinions about whether or not we should break up. I want to talk about that, right? Like because he wants divisions, right? That's what he wants.
Yeah.
He's a very promoter. He never
yeah,
backs out of that.
he's always online.
But I
talking
think
about
this is
that.
an opportunity to have that dialogue. Like
Yeah,
down the
cool.
road, if we ever get to be good at this, guys, maybe do a live one, right?
You think,
And then people could have that.
That'd be
conversation.
interesting. I don't know.
can we get Harold Zinkin on?
My guy, I love
Oh,
Harold,
my
man.
guy. Harold would be great.
Come
He's
on,
a
man.
crazy dad.
I know, but we don't need like
Me and
there's
Harold,
levels of crazy.
no, me and Harold been crazy together since CJ and
Yes.
Kate were like 6 years old. So
For
I
sure.
think
I love Harold.
that's where Chris gets it from. But that's all right. That's good. It's good.
Hey.
Look, there's room for everybody on the
Yeah,
couch. A
of course,
conversation,
man.
agree, disagree, whatever. We'll probably have Kraft, whoever. We'll reach out to people.
yeah,
I think it's important to get dialogue. It's not just people who agree with us,
Yep.
but we're super grateful you came on the show, man.
yeah, appreciate
Thank
it,
you
Gabe, for
guys.
sure,
I
bro.
appreciate you guys, and I'll miss you guys. Like I said, yeah, I like this. I think it's a great idea, and this will help wrestling.